A couple of years ago, I purchased a large building in one of the nicer sub-markets that I work in. And this was about 2 or 3 years ago when the interest rates were still low. Got myself into the property, couldn't pass up the deal. I was already finishing two other properties, so I'd sat for a little bit. And I thought I was going to get fancy and change the zoning and add a third unit in the basement. While that was happening, all the interest rates started jacking up. And so all of a sudden, like Harry costs started to get out of control. And I wasn't able to focus my resources on it because I had other deals in play that were closer. 8 months went by, this property sat, and I put a little bit of money into it. And I had a lot of carrying costs on it. And I ended up having to dump it to another investor unfinished. I got beat up. I took a loss. And it was the only time in almost 25 years of doing this that I've ever taken a loss on a deal. I moved on, I regrouped, and I'm doing another deal right now.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host, Leo Wehdeking, and today I am joined by someone I've been looking forward to chatting with, JT, who's been making serious moves in the real estate industry. JT, glad to have you here, man. I think our listeners... Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. I love talking real estate.
Good, man. Listen, I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you're approaching your real estate business and investing in some of them. So let's try to dive in, and why, for people that may not be familiar with your world, can you give us the short version on what's your main focus right now?
Yeah, I'm laser focused on buy and hold rentals. Have been doing what many people refer to as the BRRRR strategy since before it was called the BRRRR strategy. It used to just be called real estate investing. Now it's got a fancy name, but I've been doing that since about 2004, and buying properties, renovating them, and holding them as rentals. So I have a ton of experience doing that in the mid-20s units, and I self-manage them all, and it's a very smooth business.
All right. And can you tell us in what markets are you operating in right now?
Yeah, one of my kind of secret sauce elements is I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is on western side of the state, and my primary criteria is I invest no further than 15 minutes from my front door.
Perfect, love it. Listen, JT, something that actually caught my attention about you was the way that you've been able to know your own market, and how you actually, being able to become your own self-operator. All right. Can you let us know how you've been able to keep that running smoothly?
Sure. Lots of people consume all kinds of real estate podcasts, books, and a lot of the macro rules of thumbs and formulas are very simple, and it seems like a very easy, equation. The 1% rule or the 50% rule or the, buy 70% of ARV. There's a million of those. We all know those kind of rules of thumb that everyone throws around. The trick is the assumptions that you put into the formula.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So you need to know, and I exclusively work in 3 zip codes, basically, in neighborhoods that I live in one of the zip codes. So knowing the block by block micro market within the neighborhood, the good part of the neighborhood, the bad part of the neighborhood, knowing exactly what the rents are, knowing exactly what the ARVs are, knowing what's going on, what the traffic is like, what kind of transactions are going on, watching on Zillow, watching on Facebook Marketplace, watching all the places where we'll post and sell those things. So that I know those numbers by the back of my hand. So you have to know the market dynamics. And then obviously you have to know rehab. You have to be able to walk into a house and in 10 minutes say, this is 20 grand, this is 30 grand, this is whatever that number is going to be. So you can do the normal, simple, I'll use air quotes, simple equation that everyone makes it out to be. The equation is very simple, but you have to have the correct assumptions in the equation or it doesn't work.
Yeah, definitely. Once you enter a property and it's a fix and up, so you need definitely to know exactly, or maybe have an amount in your mind, a real amount
You need to know exactly.
you need to know.
You need to know your market. And I know the housing stock in my market very well. I have very clear criteria. My bread and butter is all brick, 2-bedroom houses. They're easy to renovate. They're easy to maintain. They attract the exact right kind of tenant. And there's a ton of inventory like that in my neighborhoods.
All right. I like that. Now, JT, I know that every operator has a moment where things actually got real. All right. Maybe a deal that went sideways or a time that they had to pivot real fast. Do you mind sharing one of those moments?
Oh, I just had one. A couple of years ago, I purchased a large building in one of the nicer submarkets that I work in. It was a very large 2-unit building, so it could have been a 3-unit building, but huge units. Could have been a very high-end luxury building. And this was about 2 or 3 years ago when the interest rates were still low. And I'm financing the whole thing. I'm buying on short-term debt and replacing it with long-term debt once the property stabilized. Got myself into the property, couldn't pass up the deal. I was already finishing 2 other properties, so I'd sat for a little bit. And I thought I was going to get fancy and change the zoning and add a 3rd unit in the basement. All of that dragged out. And while that was happening, all the interest rates started jacking up. And so all of a sudden, my carry costs started to get out of control. And I wasn't able to focus my resources on it because I had other deals in play that were closer. I was focusing on the stuff I could start earning money on. And 6-8 months went by, this property sat, and I put a little bit of money into it, and I had a lot of carrying costs on it. And you never want to fall in love with the property, but I love the property.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And I held on to it too long before I started working on it, and I ended up having to dump it to another investor, unfinished, which is like, reeks of desperation. And I got beat up. I took a loss, And it was the only time in almost 25 years of doing this that I've ever taken a loss on a deal. But you took a small loss versus taking a huge loss. And I
Okay,
moved
that was
on. I
smart.
regrouped, and I'm doing another deal right now.
Okay, okay. I'm happy. I'm happy to know that, man. I'm happy to know that. Now, that's actually, good stuff. A lot of people they don't like to share that kind of stuff enough,
Well, and
and
it's funny. I'd been doing this for a long time, and I got cocky. I thought I could take on more than should have taken on, and I broke my formula, and I paid the price. And now it helped me refine what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Take it one at a time.
correct. And you know what? That's what actually separates the folks who just dabble from the ones who stay in the game long term. So JT, let me ask you this: what are you most focused on solving or scaling next?
I'm looking at that property, that transaction spooked me, and I got a little more conservative in my underwriting. And I for the 2 years after that, I looked at 3 or 4 properties a month. I was making offers. I wasn't getting deals because I was being too conservative. And so I just a month ago got into my first deal since that property went bad, and I had to flex my standard a little bit. I had to believe in an ARV that is totally supported by market comps, but I had trouble believing that somebody would really value it at that level. And so my focus now is how do I get back onto growth mode and start churning, 1 to 4 properties a year and keep my crew moving and keep the inventory growing.
All right. Hey, that's big. That's big. Um, Especially when you got everything in place already.
Yeah, I mean, I have a garage full of materials. I've got crews that can do the work. I've got, all the systems in place to manage the properties. It was partially a mindset thing of just like, all right, let's get back at it. And partially, how do I change the way I underwrite deals to make the new economics that everyone else seems to be working in work for me?
Yeah, exactly. Well, uh, depending on how you move, you can either compound things or create chaos depending on how you play it. All right.
I agree. I'm in my late 40s. I joke that when I was in my 20s, 20 years ago, it was a lot easier to take big risks. When you have nothing to lose, it's easier to risk it all.
Exactly.
Got something going that is, all I got to do is not screw it up. It's harder to take those big risks. So that's what I'm saying. It's partially a mindset.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Now, JT, I know that a lot of people that are listening are either earlier in their journey or looking to level up. And I think they will benefit from hearing this. All right. When it comes about building relationships and growing your network, what's made the biggest difference for you and your business?
Being authentic. Be who be yourself. Say what you're going to do what you say, follow through, be an authentic, genuine person. Don't be a jerk. Don't be a liar. Don't do crooked business. Because especially in my market, there's just a handful of people. So it's a small town. I see the same people at stuff. You build a reputation, and you need to be able to trade on that reputation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, you cannot fake that. Relationships and being authentic, being for real, have a good reputation. I believe that's everything. Not
Yeah,
only
and
not only in this space, but everywhere in
everywhere.
life. Everywhere in life. Okay, you need to be respectful. If you want to have, like a good relation with everyone you meet in this world, for
Yep.
whatever reason you're meeting that person.
And don't
Okay.
assume you know everything, right? Like you may be surprised what you can learn from someone that you think doesn't know what they're talking about. Maybe they know something you don't. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to
talk.
try to learn something new. But also don't be afraid to take action.
Exactly. Now, JT, before we wrap up, if someone wanted to reach out to you or connect with you, maybe collaborate or learn a little bit more about what you're doing, what's the best way to reach out to you?
I don't have like a social media presence that I don't have a course I'm selling. I don't have a personal website. I'm just a guy with a lot of great information to share. And so I would say reach out to my personal email address, which is jtsmith, STER @gmail.com, jtsmithster@gmail.com.
All right, man. Perfect. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time, your story, and your perspective. Okay, we need more people in this space who are actually doing it the same way that you do, the right way. And thank you for being over here, JT. Now, for those of you just tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure you're subscribed. Okay, we got more conversations coming with operators just like JT who are out there building real businesses. Until then, we'll see you on the next episode, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.